Hello and welcome back to Mob's videos, the training videos. What we're going to do today is we're going to install SharePoint server. In my last video, I've shown you how to install SQL Server 2008 Release 2. We're going to use the same distribution for installation. Things like link server and also SharePoint server. So let's start the SharePoint installation. This is going to take some time. Okay, the installation just started. So what we're going to do today is to install the software prerequisites first. SQL Server 2008, R2, reporting services, SharePoint add-in, web server IIS roles, native SQL native client. There are some KB, some hotfixes that needs to be installed first. Identity foundations, sync framework, .NET add-in for .NET Framework 3.5, Microsoft Filter Pack 2.0, analysis services, ADOMD. This is very important. Speech platform, recognition languages, and SharePoint 2010 add-in for SQL Server 2008. Accept the terms. This is going to take some time. I'm going to pause the video and speed up the process so you can see the end of the installation of the prerequisites. Now the installation is done. There was an error during installation. Review the log file. Role configured successfully. No action taken. Installed successfully. Sync framework already installed. .NET Framework 3.5 successfully installed. Optional component. SharePoint add-in reporting services. Add-in installation error. So let's copy and paste the installation instructions, save it, and finish. It's an optional component. Install SharePoint server. Okay, the SharePoint server 2010 trial key has been inserted. Accept the terms, continue. Locate your location for files. Make sure that you're not actually installing these things into the C drive on a production server. Install now. Now SharePoint 2010 server is actually getting installed. Later on, the server configuration would be coming in. This is going to take some time. Meanwhile, what we're going to do is to look at some deployment options and what you need to know. Actually, I should have been gone through these things in the first place. Anyway, you can look at these things here is the link. And there's a good thing with the scripts. This is a beautiful script over here to download all the necessary softwares and install from internet from Microsoft. If you run this software, if you run this script in the PowerShell, all the required prerequisites for SharePoint 2010 would be installed. And the software requirements, as you can see, the hardware requirements and the software requirements are listed over here. These are the preparation tools, Edio.NET, hotfix, some hotfixes there, SQL Server 2008, native client, PowerShells, things like that. Well, most of them by default comes in with Windows Server 2008 R2. And there's the project server. Later on, I'm going to make things more complicated by installing Microsoft Project Server 2010, and it would work with Microsoft SharePoint Server 2010. There is also a Team Foundation Server 2010 and Microsoft Project Server integration, VHTs. You can get your hands on it. And the project server and SharePoint, how it's actually better together to make your projects uh, and preparations online. Take your preparations online on the project server for individual projects. So it works actually beautifully. So we're going to pause the video and I'll be right back when the software finishes the installation. Finally, the configuration, finally the SharePoint Server trial installation has been completed. We're going to run this thing later. Now we're going to exit from here and run the we're going to run the project server. Here is the trial key. It's already in the web, so don't worry about it. Install software prerequisites. Accept the terms. So the prerequisites for the installation of project server is being done. It's the same error. Add in for SQL reporting services for SharePoint. Let's install project server. Here's the key. Okay, I have to type it in. 7 FTF FPKGY FPKGY WHYHD WHYHD JCQ JCQ 9B K8 H2F. Continue. Accept the terms. Install now. Microsoft Project Server is a small file and it's not going to take much time to install. Run the SharePoint Products Configuration Wizard now. SharePoint Configuration Wizard comes in. If you want to manually run this, you can run this from over here, SharePoint Products and the Configuration Wizard. Here is the same thing. Click Next. These services will be momentarily restarted. We're going to create a new form since there is no form in our domain over here. Let's type in the passphrase. Well, normally I would like to use 55,555, and authentication would be NTLM. So the server would be available over here. I'm going to pause the video and come back as soon as the configuration finishes. And the product installation configuration wizard completed. Click finish. It will take me to the primary administration console. It's going to take some time since this is the first time run. Let's see if this one already up and running. Waiting for it. Firm configuration wizard. For the This is the first time run. Not going to participate right now as this is a test environment, and it's a good idea to, for when it's actually running for the first time, to configure your SharePoint firm. uh, let's start with the wizard. Later on you can do everything um, manually. You see all the services are ticked except for the Lotus Notes connector. I'm not going to need it. Click next. So it's already up and running on the port 55,555. So it's configuring the databases, the interface, the NTLM security and everything. Basically, what we are going to do next is to choose the primary templates for the initial site. So this is the main central administration point, and so this is where you actually get to primarily this is the thing you're going to do next, um, um, even for every day actually. Still processing. As you can see, I have installed project server to 2010, but it's not listed here anywhere. So what are the things that you need to back up? SharePoint 80, central administration, your templates, your configuration, your firm configuration. So if you click the firm configuration, the whole thing gets backed up. Let's see if it's still processing. So the processing has been completed. Let's create the first uh, SharePoint farm. Title mobs first, mobs central, SRV. There would be the team site, meetings, basic meeting workspace, document enterprise server, enterprise document center, publishing portal, and also, okay, we're going to create a primary team site. So the internal site would be mobs SRV. So the site would be mobs SRV. Finish the process. The site would come in momentarily. So finally, the mob central came in. As you can see, it's an intranet site. So the site pages would be here, libraries. So you can share documents, calendar. So as you can see, the home, everything is just in order. You can go back to site administration, and later on you need to, let's go home. You need to add users and groups to add permissions for them so that your employees can browse the central, share documents within them, and use the share the calendar task. There is a team blog over here. You can type new discussion. How's the new site? There's the how's the new site, as it's showing, uh, and you can also add comments in them, add new discussion. So all site contents, you can see the whole thing at a glance. So folks, this is about it. Hope you enjoyed the long process of installing the SharePoint Server 2010, as basically this machine is too fast to make these things happen in a few hours. So okay, Hope this video is informational to you. Bye.